Welcome all sports fans, YouTubers, Facebookers, all social media across the nation. Uneducated Network on YouTube presents Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Carlos Clayton. Before we get into our show, please, if you haven't, like and subscribe to Uneducated Network on YouTube so you can see my show, Uneducated Sports Talk, and many other genres. We have sports talk, we have motivation, we have superhero talk, we have a Star Wars talk, all of the above. This is more than just a YouTube channel. It is a way of life. So please like and subscribe to Uneducated Network. Now let's get into our show. There's problems going on in Big Blue right now, and yes, I'm talking about the New York Football Giants. As of just now, breaking news: they have fired their head coach Ben McAdoo and fired their general manager Jerry Reese. We've seen this coming. I've seen it coming for over a year now. Let's take it back a year. The Giants go 11-5, right into the playoffs. You think that when Eli's in the playoffs, good things happen? Well, they got bounced out. 11-5, but at the same time, Ben McAdoo felt like he did not fit that team from the start. And here's what I mean. When they win, when they lose, every time he's in a social media outlet, he was always blaming other guys for things. And I never liked that. A guy who gets criticism 24/7. As a head coach, people look at your energy, your positivity, how you can rally a football team. That's what it is. How can you rally a team? And he didn't show any of those characteristics last year in a winning season, I might add. 11-5. So you always thought to yourself, ooh, I hate for them to have a bad year. Then that's going to be really bad. No one said anything because they were winning. 11-5. Two, the GM Jerry Reese. His problem was this: you went to add all this offense, but what about the O-line? The O-line has to protect Eli. Eli last year at an 11-5 season was getting sacked at a high rate. So they said, well, let's give him weapons. And we're not talking O-line weapons, we're talking wide receiver weapons. So with that being said, you go ahead and worry about his offensive weapons. You're talking about bringing Brandon Marshall in. You're talking about drafting Evan Ingram. You talk about getting pieces around him, because that's what made me say, well, this is Eli Manning's make or break year, and they put all the onus on Eli. But my goodness, you forgot about the main part, the offensive line. What were you thinking? So that was mainly, in my opinion, Jerry Reese's fault for him getting fired. He's been with them since 2007. He's won 2 Super Bowls as the GM of that team. But sometimes it only takes 1 year or maybe a 2-3 year stretch to where they figure out you just don't know what you're doing anymore, and they get rid of you. That's the way the NFL goes. That's the way life is, to be honest with you. So that was his downfall. Ben McAdoo, he was long waiting to get this. So you go 11-5, good year, but you're still sour about a lot of things. So you bring it into this year, and things don't click for you guys. But of course, you have injuries. It's not Eli's fault. Odell's battling injury, ankle injuries. You got Odell, Brandon Marshall, all these guys breaking down with injuries. And Eli, he's basically throwing Sterling Shepard is your best receiver in your team. Something's wrong. So you can't put the whole entire onus on Eli. Oh, by the way, you still haven't got an offensive line for Eli Manning yet. So you can have all these pretty weapons all you want, but if the man cannot do a simple 3-step drop back pass without getting touched, then something's wrong. So that being said, it all started early in the year when Ben McAdoo basically called out Eli Manning. Called him out. There was a play, I believe it was the 4th week of the season or the 5th week, something like that, where Eli couldn't get, Eli took a delay a game. And Ben McAdoo basically called him out to the media. Like straight up called him out. I thought that was a punk move. I will put that link down below to let you guys know the feature I talked about, because that was a very punk-like move from Ben McAdoo as the head coach. And Eli Manning is a veteran, and he's been there, done that. Yes, he made a mistake, but you don't call him out to the media. Some things you just keep in-house. Should have kept that in-house, or at least say it to where the media understands. Not to where the media wants to, write it down a bazillion times. Because guess what, Ben McAdoo? There's been a lot of times you made boneheaded decisions, but you don't hear Eli Manning calling you out on those decisions. So that ticked me off. That's when you knew something wasn't right with this organization. Then you get the players falling down. Odell's out for the year. Brandon Marshall follows suit as well. Another wide receiver, I forgot his name. He follows suit. They're starting to crumble as an offense. And you figure their defense would keep them in there. But once the offense was obliterated, the defense was like, well, we can't really hold our own. So then they started tripping, right? So Ben McAdoo, it's all on him. And then, of course, what everyone knows is the benching of Eli Manning. To come to Eli and say, you know what, we want to start you so you can continue your streak, but then at halftime, we're going to cut you. We're going to cut you off, and put in Geno Smith. That is not the way to go. If you want to bench Eli, then just bench him. That's what I always said. They should have just benched him from the start. But here's why I wouldn't have benched him. Geno Smith is not your future. That is not, if you had a future on your team, like when Kurt Warner was there and Eli was the backup, then yeah, that's different. But it's Eli Manning and it's Geno Smith. We know what Geno Smith is all about. And it's not good or it's not pretty. I'll tell you that right now. Geno Smith is not a franchise rebuilding or franchise starting quarterback. So I wouldn't have benched Eli in the first place. That was wild. So they went on ahead and did that. But to come at Eli and tell him, we're going to start you just to keep your streak going on and then cut you. Eli, and I wouldn't have heard it any different from Eli. Eli said, hell no, I'm not doing that. But what they did not know is Eli was going to take it to the press. And he sure did. He took it to the press and let them know what happened and what they told him. And he was like, I'm not down for that. If I'm not going to start and play the whole entire game, I'm not going to put an asterisk under my accomplishments. And I really like the way he did that. So I'm very happy for Eli in that aspect because that's a real football man. He's a real football player. He's not going to play just to keep some streak alive. That's not his MO. That's not his style. Whatever. That got out to the media, obviously, it's New York. And now everyone's giving a tongue lashing to Ben McAdoo, and rightfully so. This is Eli Manning, 13-year veteran, 2-time Super Bowl champion. I mean, he's been to the playoffs, I believe, 5 or 6 occasions. But outside of that, he is basically godlike in New York. You don't make those kind of bonehead decisions. If you had someone that was the future of the Giants organization, quarterback-wise, then you make the decision to bench Eli. But there's no one there. And one, your season is already done with. At this point, they were 2-9, I believe. 2-9 or 2-10, something like that. You don't make that decision. You don't do that. You ride it out to the end of the year, and then you either let Eli Manning go, or you find someone in the draft to be the predecessor to Eli Manning. They did not do any of that. Sometimes I feel like I could be general manager or I could be head coaches for a few franchises because there's a lot of franchises that make bone-headed decisions. You just don't do that. And Ben McAdoo, he got everything that he deserved. The owner came out and said he had no idea this was going down, and I believe him. And he was infuriated. You get the backlash from the fans, from the media, but mostly the fans and former players, current players, all that. It's embarrassing to the New York Giants franchise. Last time they fired someone in-house, 1976. They were 0-7 to start the year off. They fired him in-house. So you're talking about 41 years, something like that. They went ahead and did what they had to do, and I don't blame them. Get rid of Ben McAdoo because I've been caught for his firing for a long time. Since that Eli Manning debacle early in the year, I say he's got to go. Jerry Reese, sometimes the card is dealt. Yes, you won 2 Super Bowls, and you're a great GM. But 3 or 4 year period of not showing anything a higher ceiling, it gets you capped as a GM. It just happens, So Jerry Reese will find work soon, and Bob McAdoo will find work as an offensive coordinator. I think his head coaching days are done because he basically alienated his team. And as a head coach, that's one thing that you're not supposed to do at all. Period. And Ben McAdoo went ahead and did that. He's not the smartest guy in the room. I'll tell you that right now. So I think it was all deserved to Ben McAdoo. Eli Manning, he's contemplating on retiring. Archie Manning, his father came out and said that really crushed his heart, crushed his spirit. He might just retire now. I think Eli doesn't play for anybody else. Everyone's talking about him going to the Jaguars and him going to the Browns. Stop that. Eli Manning is, I'm not going to say washed up, but he's not that kind of guy to take a bad team and turn them good. It's not about to happen. So I think Eli Manning either has one more year with the Giants or he retires. And hey, what a hell of a career. 2 Super Bowls. And it's more than Drew Brees, I'll tell you that. So he did his thing. And I'm happy for Eli for his 13 years. And what a great guy, great competitor. But Ben McAdoo, sorry, brother, you had to go. It's just that time. And my closing talk about this is that sometimes as a head coach, it's best not to get on your key players. Unless they make antics like Odell Beckham Jr., that's different. But when Eli, who's a constant pro, a constant competitor, someone who's a straight up leader on your team, you don't make those adjustments to overstep his leadership. You don't do that. Because now if you're hopping on him, it alienates the whole entire team. He deserved whatever he got. The owner said, we will talk about it. We're thinking about, no, nothing is certain over here. And sure enough, he was talking about Bob McAdoo's job security. It wasn't certain. And then sources Sunday said 24 hours. Of course, Monday, we get it. He's out as the head coach of the Giants. Steve Spagnuolo is going to be the interim head coach for the rest of the year. And right now, he's the defensive coordinator. But we'll see what goes on to that end. So, tell me how you feel. Leave a comment down below. Like and subscribe to Uneducated Networks, where you see my show and many other shows. So be on the lookout for upcoming shows. I got our college casual football talk with Brian Wilkinson. That'll be out Wednesday morning. And then some more shows coming out. We got to talk about, break down Monday Night Football and all of Sunday's game as well. I'll give my recap on that. Had a hell of a season, a hell of a week, you know what I'm saying, record-wise. So, that being said, this is Uneducated Network presenting Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Carlos Clayton. And as always, sports fans, you know what time it is. Stay smart, stay uneducated. Peace.